The map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. The Amazon is the world's largest and most diverse rainforest, with 670 million hectares of forest and 100 million hectares of freshwater ecosystems. It covers 7.8 million square kilometers and 44% of South America. Amazonia is home to 33 million people and thousands of species. The public policies defined by the 9 countries that constitute the Amazon's basin differ from one another, precluding the management of the territory as a whole ecosystem, therefore limiting cooperation mechanisms. The process of grasping the territory of Amazonia started online with 2 words, preceded by the numeral sign, #AmazonFires. Observing means also assuming, acknowledging, and being aware of a point of view, of having a certain perspective. In this case, it is a Western point of view, both physical and mental, with its tradition of thought, its way of articulating that thought and communicating it, and its own understanding of the world. From online words, the Ríos Trilogy moved through masses of data towards maps and representations. Observing the maps, studying every curve that forms this intricate and captivating network of waterish life, a complex topography arises. The Ríos Trilogy is not necessarily a work about Amazonia. It is a work that attempts to understand how we, people from a Western traditional way of thinking, relate to Amazonia. How do we connect to this rainforest? How do we read the territory of the Amazon basin? What are the meanings and definitions that our society deposits into this territory? There is a persistent view of Amazonia as a remote territory able to provide endless natural resources. At a national level, it's considered a territory capable of ensuring energy sovereignty, as well as a source of income based on the production and commercialization of its raw materials. At a global level, the region is a provider of significant quantities of commodities, while in parallel, seen as the most important source of fresh water and biodiversity, as a regulator of the planet's climate, and as a carbon sink for large quantities of greenhouse gases. Getting closer to the Amazon is like zooming into an immensely complex and abundant system. Diving deeper is confronting, as it leads to the experience that in fact, one knows nothing. There are as many Amazons as there are realities that shape it. Through the prism of this research, Amazonia revealed itself as a myriad of realms, a living space, a monument to planet Earth, a home for traditional knowledge, ancestral memories, and indigenous cosmovisions. Running through the water beneath you are the names of the indigenous peoples living in the Amazon basin. Amazonia is their home, their ecosystem, and their way of life. Environmental and ecological matters need to be understood within the social, political, and economic context, as much as climate change needs to be comprehended as a consequence of the political crisis. As long as the extractive economy leads the markets, governments will keep being hostages of corporate interests, while public interests, such as environmental and social rights, will come second. Climate justice also implies re-examining the relationship between land, property, and human rights. Industrial extractive activities in Amazonia are systematically accompanied by violations of indigenous people's rights. All oil and mineral extraction, the creation of hydroelectric plants, and the deforestation for the establishment of intensive pasture and monoculture exploitation all have a direct and lasting impact on waterways, ecosystems, and the biodiversity they host, directly affecting the populations living in the region. Addressing climate change requires addressing climate justice. An exercise that begins with revisiting the colonial relationship we have with nature and other cultures and societies, a relationship built in the West upon the foundations of Cartesian dualism, in which nature as a cultural invention is incorporated into the human as a passive external system, ready to be dominated and possessed. Scientists warn that the Amazon is hurtling towards a tipping point beyond which it would begin to transition from a dense tropical forest into a dry, degraded savanna, unable to support the immense diversity of life that calls the world's largest rainforest home.